Hello, this video is going to talk about ways in which breast cancer changes your life. If you're early on in your breast cancer diagnosis and treatment, this is not meant to sound doom and gloom, and if you're years later, the hope is this will validate your experience. Before I go on, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have videos that are related to this, videos about treatment, videos about communication. I'd also love to invite you to go to Yerbba.com to get your personalized Yerbba report. So breast cancer will change your life in many different ways. It's not just the physical. It's just not the marks on your body. It's also emotional and social and occupational and financial. And I'd like to cover some of those. I've used this analogy in other videos, so forgive me if you've heard it before. But I think it's a useful way to think about it. If you're reading a book and you're reading about a character as they go through their life and something happens to them, it might be a breast cancer diagnosis, it might be something else really momentous in their life, a loss, a house fire, living in a wartime situation, for example. That character will very likely have the marks of that event on them throughout the rest of the book. It would be sort of odd if somebody experienced something major in their life and it never came up again, or it didn't shape how that character developed, whether for good or for ill. And so I think of our lives like a book, and breast cancer is a chapter. And how could it not have an impact on you, the character in your story, as you go forward? If this analogy is helpful to you, drop a comment below, because it's useful for us to know if this resonates. Diagnosed with breast cancer? Meet Yerbba, your guide to personalized treatment options. Each option is specifically tailored to the unique characteristics of your tumor. Sign up today at Yerbba.com to take control of your breast cancer journey. So we'll start with the physical. We know that breast cancer affects the body. It affects what people see and it affects what you feel. So what you see is you may be left with a mastectomy incision or a reconstruction that you're not in love with. So there are scars on the body, scars that you can see. And you may find ways to embrace your body. It might be a mark of treatment, but it may also leave you with sadness and sometimes fury and sometimes disgust that we don't have something better to offer you. We also see that people can have hair thinning or hair loss, first from chemotherapy, and then some endocrine therapy can lead to hair thinning, or even severe enough hair thinning you may feel bad about the way you look. We know that treatments can affect your skin. You may have had very soft skin and now your skin is dry, and that can be really hard. We know that your intimate life, your sexual life may be different. You may have vaginal dryness, you may have pain, perhaps there are other things that you've lost in your intimate life. You may have fatigue. We know that although it's not really common, that a fair percentage of people live with chronic fatigue. You may have neuropathy. So these are some of the long-term physical changes, and just having to go back in and see doctors that you never really wanted to see in the first place affects your life, how you navigate your time and the appointments you have to make and new people you have to interact with. There are a host of other long-term physical effects that I won't go into here. We do have other videos about long-term effects and how long side effects last. We see you. We know that there are other things we haven't covered. Then there's the emotional side of things. There's the fear of recurrence. There's this notion that you have to adjust to a new normal. Check out our video about new normal. A lot of people have told us they didn't want to watch it, but that it was helpful to watch the video about a new normal. And I'll be touching on that again in a moment as well. We know that you might have anger or disgust, as I mentioned. You might find yourself sad. Anxiety, even if it's not about recurrence, you may find that you're hypervigilant, that you have flashbacks when you go to get your mammogram or when you go visit the doctor. A lot of people have symptoms that are a lot like post-traumatic stress disorder. And if you live with a condition of breast cancer where there's a high risk of recurrence, that you may actually be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Facing a fear of your own death is one of the things that is associated with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. The next group of things sort of bridges emotional and social, and I'd like to start with an identity crisis. People have told us that their life has been changed, they don't know who they are. This is especially the case if you are a healer or if you like to be a helper. If you're a person who views yourself as a helper, like a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a mother, if you're a leader in your organization, this can be a real shift for you because now you're receiving care, or you would like to receive care and it's not always there. You can feel vulnerable when part of your identity has always been to be strong. You know, you've always been sort of invincible, and being vulnerable can shift your whole world for you. We know that vulnerability actually is a sign of strength, but it may not feel that way to you. You may feel vulnerable in your body, you may feel vulnerable in your identity or in your social roles. You may also see, without necessarily an identity shift, just a shift in your roles altogether. If you're a mother and there have been times you haven't been able to do those motherly things, like organizing something at the school, that can be very destabilizing for you and even for your kids, depending on the age that they are, and even for older children. Older children can be, even at the age of 30 or 40, always counting on you being there, and that again can be destabilizing. Or if your parents rely on you and there have been times you haven't been able to be there for them, to take them to appointments because you're going through your own stuff, that can be a shift for you as well. Socially, we know people can feel isolated. They can be ghosted. We have a video on ghosting during breast cancer and its treatment you may find helpful to watch. You may find that your friends say the wrong things or don't know what to say, and while they may not ghost you, they certainly aren't available. And your intimate relationships, your relationship with your partner, may change as well, and you may not even feel like you have a partner. If you're single, it may be very destabilizing for you socially to wonder, what is it like to go back to dating after having breast cancer? So I'm not meaning to make you depressed. I want to help you see that these experiences are normal and you're not alone, that you are part of a common humanity, and remembering that can help you be compassionate to yourself. The last social impact can be at work. If you've had to take time away, you may wonder, what's my role now in my organization? And even if you haven't had to take time away, the mere fact you're going through something serious can make people treat you as if you're fragile. And none of us like to feel fragile, and you may even feel fragile because you are vulnerable at this time. So it can shift some of the dynamics at work, and when you return to work, you may need to think very carefully about how you want to talk to your coworkers, to your boss, or if you're the leader, to the people whom you lead. So how do you go about creating this re-entry period and knowing that this chapter in your life is going to have an impact on you as you go forward? Well, think about a book you've read. What are the kinds of things that the hero does in this story? They often chart a path. They think about that story. They give some time to, who do I want to be? How do I want to live my life going forward? It may be a chance to reconsider your relationship to work. You know, a lot of us go through work sort of mindlessly thinking, this is how it is. And when we ask ourselves, if it's this way in 5 years, is that okay? Is this sustainable? This might be a time to think about a change. It can be a time to reevaluate your relationships. If you're always giving and giving, and this is a time where you have to pause that giving, Can you seek out friendships and relationships where there's more mutuality, where there's more balance in the relationship? Can you seek support through support groups where other people who've gone through this particular chapter can help you and can see you for who you are and what you've been through? This is also a time to embrace the other parts of your identity. Think about all those things that you are. You are not your diagnosis. You are not ER negative. Your tumor was ER negative. You are not triple negative. You are somebody who lives with or lived through a triple negative breast cancer. It might be time to try something new. You know, it's very likely, and I've learned this from so many people, this might be a time to revisit those passions from your earlier times in life. So let's say you were an artist in high school. Get those pencils and paper out and set aside some time. Create some routines and structure for yourself where you can rediscover those parts of yourself. This might be a good time to reach out to a friend you haven't talked to in years, and without expectation that they'll be able to sit through that and listen to your whole story, you know, reconnect with those other parts of yourself that are still there. They're earlier chapters in your life, and just like in a book, isn't it lovely when the heroine discovers those old parts and they start living that out? I am not trying to be Sally Sunshine here, but there are strategies where you can remember your wholeness. You are whole and resilient. You might be living through, or living after a chapter that was difficult, but you are more than that chapter. I hope this has been helpful. Drop any comments or questions below. If you disagree completely, we'd love hearing from you too. Please be kind. We are real people reading your comments. And as always, thank you for watching.